Good morning. Welcome to my Tireside Chat. It is Monday. It is the day after Easter. Yeah, it's the 10th. Okay. I don't know why I was second guessing myself. I always do that. It is April 10th. And it's supposed to be 87 degrees today in Fresno, which is unseasonably warm. Going from a couple of weeks ago when it was still, high of 55 and near freezing at night, or maybe not near, not like 33, but cold enough to this. And then tomorrow it's supposed to cool back down to 70, I guess. Weird. And I'm not ready for it. It's a preview of what is yet to come. And I dread it every year. It's just one of the downsides to living in Fresno. It's not bad in the winter. I like being here in the winter. It's fine. It's not too cold, and the air is okay, apart from people burning fires. You know what's interesting? I noticed yesterday as I was driving down the street, so we have there's the Fresno County program, which I believe is state or, I don't know if it's county funded or federally funded or what, but the program to replace, to fund people getting fireplace inserts, they're gas-powered inserts, that we went through a few months ago, and we have a new fireplace insert, which is really cool. But they basically you apply for this program through the county and on their website, and you get it's up to, unless there's cases where it's different, I think it's typically $4,250 reimbursement for purchasing a fireplace insert to help with our air quality issues, of course. But in our case, it worked out nicely because our fireplace we had inspected a few years ago. It's not really usable anyways. It needed some repair, and it was going to be so expensive that I don't think it wasn't going to be worthwhile to do. So getting an insert seemed like a logical choice. Anyways, you can spot any house that has a fireplace insert. If you look on the top of their chimney, sticking out of it, there's this metal cylinder, the exhaust. It's like a pipe, but if you ever see one, you'll know what I'm talking about. But so we have one on our chimney, and I was just driving. I had to go yesterday morning, Easter morning, to go to Save Mart and pick up a few things for the house because we had some family over. Danielle's family came over, and I was just driving down Harvard towards west to head up to Save Mart. And I started, I noticed, drove past my mom's friend's house, Patty and Russell, who live on the other side of Fruit on Harvard from us. And I noticed, I was like, oh yeah, they've got one. And then I started looking, I was like, how many houses on this street actually have them? And I think I counted outside of ours, and then Patty and Russell's. See how many houses are on a given street like that between Fruit and West. 50, if I had to guess, randomly. I think I counted 4. No, there was 3 besides Patty and Russell, so a total of like 5 out of, let's say, so maybe 10%, and that's being generous. So I don't know what their goal was, is to get every house with a fireplace with a heat insert, but or even 50% would be great. But I think they're falling a little shy of their goal. The problem is, I don't think most people have $4,250 to front to go out and buy a fireplace insert. And then you have to wait. Come to think of it, it's been a couple months. We still haven't gotten our reimbursement. Have we? No, we haven't gotten a reimbursement. Now that I'm talking about this, no, we haven't seen that money back yet, have we? No, we pulled it out of savings to pay for it, and it's just fine. Thankfully, we had the money to do that, but most people probably, what are you gonna do? Well, you got to put it on a credit card, and then pay interest on that while you're waiting to get reimbursed. $4,000 is a lot of money for most people. Come on, dude, what are you doing? Go! He was on his phone. Dipshit. Guy just pulls in front of me out of a parking lot, doing like 5 miles an hour. No turn signal. Again, no turn signal. And then he goes to get into the turn lane, no turn signal, and he looked over, he was just like this, not even looking. Yes, I look at my phone sometimes when I'm in my car. Allegedly. I do so love that word, allegedly. But if I were to, it might be at a stoplight. And I'm always paying attention. This is not an admission of guilt. Alright, well, anyways. I'm almost at work, and I went off talking about fireplace inserts at a time when I'm probably not going to be using my fireplace insert for another, 6 months. Ugh. I look forward to that day. Oh, what are we listening to now? We're talking about vaccines.
We see immunity waning within a month to 2 months in terms of protecting against infection in mild to moderate disease. But we've seen immunity wane up at around 6 months for the same degree of protection against hospitalization and death. Still pretty good, but not to the same degree it was at 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 months. So giving that consideration, people pause and say, well, look at we don't have evidence that these vaccines do as well after 6 months. We have a bivalent vaccine that we clearly know that it works after 3 to 4 months and probably much longer. Why not give people who are at high risk the benefit of a boost at 6 months? And I think it's a reasonable argument. We have no safety signals at all. So safety is not a consideration. We have some data about efficacy, and we have some data that we need a booster at around 6 months for people who are at high risk. So I think if you mix all those together, where I come down on this is that a passive recommendation is fine, or a passive permission is fine. That is saying if you want to get it at 6 months, doctors can prescribe it, patients can get it. And I think that's very reasonable. Again, only for people at high risk.
I do want to unpack your vocabulary. When you say we have no safety signals at all, you mean the vast amount of data gathered about what happens to people after they get the vaccine has thrown up no red flags. no hints of problems from getting boosters.
Thank you. I shouldn't be using this more arcane language, but that's absolutely right. Yeah, we haven't seen anything to suggest that there's an increased risk over anything we've seen with previous vaccines with this new bivalent vaccine.
I do have kind of a bigger picture question. The level of uptake on the last round of boosters, the bivalent vaccine released early last fall, was dismally low. Last I checked, it was like somewhere in the 40% range.
Well, time to go to work. It's going to be a long day. We have a meeting with the CFO today to go over our Microsoft Teams implementation that we're going to be trying to push out here over the next few weeks for the company. And my boss and I are going to be brainstorming and coming up with a plan of execution, I think, today, so that we can present to him. Hopefully he'll be happy with. Still trying to gauge exactly what he's looking for, but I think we have some ideas. And that's it. That's not till 4 o'clock, which I don't like having meetings at that late in the afternoon, because by then I'm like, my brain is fried and I'm ready to go home. I do my best work 5 a.m. to 11 a.m. And after that, it's kind of downhill from there. I'm just like struggling to stay awake for a little bit, and then And then in the afternoon, when it gets to be that far into the afternoon, I typically, if I can, I like to ensure that I'm not working on anything that I'm really going to break. That has the potential of causing major negative ramifications for the whole company. Because sometimes I'll be working on something 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and if it's something like really crucial, and then like the next morning I'll go back to continue working on it, and I'd be like, what did I type here? That was a mistake. I'll catch mistakes that I made. I was like, how did I do that? And it will be totally obvious to me the next day, which is also why I think it's a really good idea to just to like break things up when you're working on projects like that. And I just if you're beating your head against the wall at the end of the day and you can't figure something out, I know just to walk away and come back and look at it the next day with a fresh mind, and because that's worked for me so many times. And they'll come in the next day and be like, oh, wait, I didn't think to try this. Or usually I'll be like laying in bed and the next morning thinking about it, and I'll have an idea. I'm like, oh, why didn't I try that? And then I get up and do it. I'm like, oh, look, it's fixed. And I was working on something for 2 hours and could not figure it out. And the next morning I'll fix it in 10 minutes. So anyways, okay, I'm gonna stop flapping my gums now and go inside. Hasta la vista.